yeah, just waiting for Harley and Doc to exit, I think.
Hi, Doc Babbage and Kimmy.
It says qualify now in progress. But
Yeah.
there's only 4 people in the room, so it must be an old one. F1. I don't know if we're. I don't think we're live yet. So I'll have a. I felt really, really bad for George Russell. He definitely deserved to win. To
fill those
today.
boots as well in that seat, that's a big set of shoes to fill, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And then for it to all go wrong because of not your own fault, any real good driver, I mean, Russell's a great driver, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's proven that.
Phenomenal driver, and I think we are live on the stream now. I think he's definitely proven that. I think if they hadn't already signed Bottas, if this had been halfway through the season, he would possibly have got that drive alongside Lewis Hamilton next year.
Very possible. He's a Mercedes driver, isn't he? So that is definitely a strong possibility.
He is. Right, we're live from La Maggiore. Great little twisty track. Upsy downsies, twisty turnies. Some tricky first and second turns. Quite tight. And, well, even turns 1, 2 and 3. And then you get onto a real fast back end of the lap. Some great racing, some close racing. And it is a track that punishes you. There's some track corners that will test ability and pace, and if you go off you can lose an awful lot of time, but very close racing in the Group 2 race this afternoon, and we'll see how this one pans out.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those circuits that favours the one that can find the river very quickly through the second sector, especially where Hayes is actually running through now in his practice currently, through what I believe Hammerbush would have called the Wibbly Wobblies.
Yeah, the Wibbly Wobblies.
Onto the back straight, really, so that sets up the rest of the lap, to be honest, into Mick's Happy Place.
Mick's Happy Place. We have to call it Mick's Happy Place on a live stream, although we do have another name for it, but I think it's very, very valid. We've of course got a new team today. There's been a split from Rod and Pollux, and we've got Ash Wilson setting up a team shortcut in the Aston Martin, which isn't a car we've seen in any of the Group 3 stuff we've run with an OFR, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. It's a very fast car, quite well balanced. I still wonder if there's a reason why people haven't perhaps picked it in the past, but we'll see how it goes today.
Yeah, I know the Aston Martin's very quick in a straight line on the endurance season as well so far. Ash and Kimmy seem to have that car very much dialed in for straight and for cornering as well.
Very, very pretty car as well. It's a nice looking car. So there's just seemed to be a little bit of chat going on between Robot and Martin. Martin's obviously engineering for the R&P team today, just keeping an eye on what's going on. So I'm not 100% sure we're actually into
We're
quali.
still free practice at the moment. We're still free practice currently, I believe.
Yep. Now there we go, and we now are into quali. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out today. I think you've got the obvious drivers, as Phil Babbage takes a spin there, possibly contact with Kimmy. You've got the obvious drivers that are going to be away at the front. With the 3 Porsches will go very, very well around here, with it being such a very well balanced car. But I think you will see the Lexus, certainly of Harley, and potentially the Aston Martin with Ash being up there as well. I think you'll be in the top 5, but you can't rule out Proctor and Doc Coop in the RCZs as well.
What are your predictions for the top 3 then, Jeff?
Top 3, I think I will probably go Kimmy, Ready Shaven, and I think we might see Harley up there. I think it'll be between Harley and Ash, but I'm going to stick my neck out. I think we'll see Harley up there today. I know he's been doing some decent times in practice, and he's a very, very steady driver. He's a great driver, is Harley. He's just sometimes been a bit unfortunate with the traffic around him. But I think he's due a podium today.
Good. Let's push that one. Let's go. My top 3, I want to say probably Kimmy, certainly up in the top 3. I'm going to say possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston Martins. And then, I'm going to say, possibly, 'Smalley' or Ash from the Aston maybe Castle sort of throw a curveball in there a little bit. Maybe Castle deservedly of a podium finish beforehand.
Yeah, he's a good driver.
If luck's on his side today, he should be back up there again.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Smalley's been doing very well in his lead, currently leading the Beginners' Cup series. It's going to be a great battle between the last 2 rounds between him and Weird TV. They've been very, very close so far. He had a great podium on Tuesday night, a good drive to 2nd place, and it's good that he's getting the drive and the Beginners' Cup's doing what it is and bringing the newer drivers through into the higher ranked leagues, and it will be interesting to see how he goes today. I certainly think a top 5's well within him today, and like I say, maybe even higher. So we've got Ready Shaven, I think he's just crossing the line now to start a fast lap, so we'll just see whether we've got anyone. He's closely followed by Harley, so Harley's got a great marker there in Ready Shaven, a real spotter as he's going round, and Smalley right behind him with Phil Babbage as well. So everyone's out in a line, and this is possibly going to bunch everyone up and start to hinder people. But if everyone gets the foot down, it could also, the people further back in this train, they will have the benefit of a little bit of slipstream.
Further back drivers on their own little space, really. You've got Mick, Ash and Hazy. So we've got Mick in 10th, he's just gone over the start finish line for his fastest flying lap. Ash's just come up to the finish line now as well. And then Hazy's just towards the midpoint of Sector 4. So they've very much got their own little space to run their own little pace, run what they want to do, pit when they want, and they're still going to have a lot of space between them.
And I think sometimes it's better to have that in quality, isn't it, where you're not dependent on somebody holding you up. You lose 2 or 3 tenths of a second, and in quali that can be 2 or 3 positions. Like you mentioned Ben there. Ben's been having some great drives in the Beginners' Cup. He's been unfortunate with incidents that haven't always been his fault, but he's a great driver, is Ben, and he's dead solid. I think he just needs a confidence result, and then I think you'll see him go really, really well, and you'll really start seeing him progress through the leagues.
I think getting confidence at his hair as well, and just getting experience on top of that as well is kind of a good thing for Ben.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Definitely, because he's relatively new to the game as well. The game sim, we should call it a sim, really.
Simcade. Is it a Simcade? Really, I think graduate's supposed to be labelled as, really.
I think so. Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, I think it's more than that. It's a great. If you're Ready Shape was just about to set this first lap, just jump back to that in a second. Opens with a 54.6. Yeah, a Simcade's probably fitting for it. It's more than that. It's a great way for people to get into sim racing without a big budget. You don't have to spend. If you go down the PC route, you can spend anywhere between 1,200 and £3,000 on a PC. Then you've got everything to go with it. But the PlayStation does make it very, very available for pretty much anyone to jump into the world of simulated racing. We are looking at the minute the 3 Porsches. Oh, as Castle just goes wide at the bottom of the hill. In the minute I've got the Ash just jumps up to 3rd at the moment, just over 3 tenths off, just splitting Ready Shaven and Castle from the tag team. And you've got Phil Babbage, Doc Coop, Smalley in a really, really strong 7th. Look at the gaps, and we're only 0.8 between Smalley and 7th and the lead. He's just coming up behind Harley, so we'll watch, see if he manages to clear it, because Harley's going to be on a lap as well. We are coming down here into Mick's happy place.
Just looking further back down the field, Ben's just on a 56.8 to his first times up,
which is good. I know I think that's Ben's.
Ben is very little time in the car.
Yeah, again, he's only found out about the drive today due to a last-minute replacement. But that's, I believe, from the time I spent with Ben just before this, that's his fastest lap of his practice so far in that car, and puts him a second in front of Mick as well. So a great lap there from Ben.
So we've got Ready Shaven and Harley both here for fresh set of
boots. Yeah, we're just getting a lot of people in now. Ash is just coming around Mick's corner. So we'll see whether he dives in this lap or not. I think you'll see most people now come in. Ready Shaven's out on fresh tyres. We'll just follow Ash around his lap here and see if he just come in. I think he will, because he's 6.5 seconds off at split 4. So he's either a little incident or just backed off this lap just to give himself. It's a little bit glitchy as he came through there. Yeah, so Ash dives in as well. So we'll pick up Ready Shaven. I think Ready Shaven's lead car on the road at the moment. He's good free air as well, so he should be able to maximise this lap out of the pits, and he should possibly be able to get 2 laps in here. I think you have got, on the Group 3 cars, they don't quite stress the tyres as much as the Group 2s. You will be able to get 2 laps out of a set of, in effect, qualies before you start to see any real drop-off.
I find the Group 2 is very good on the tyres myself personally, just because they've got the added aero rather than scrubbing the tyre surface at all. But it depends on your driving style, doesn't it? Really.
It does. You're obviously going to get people that will have different ways to drive in, and therefore it stresses the car in a different way. And I think that's where you get people that suit different formats of car as well. I mean, obviously the Porsche guys, especially Kimi and Castle, because I've spoken to them in the past, they're very, very massive fans of the Porsche. It's just such a dependable car. Whereas you move down, because he's third on the grid, on the qualifying at the moment, to Ash. Ash has always preferred a front wheel car. I mean, we know he's a big fan of the M6. He's obviously driven the Lexus for a season and a half, and now moved into the Aston. So he prefers the format of that car, maybe with a bit more weight over the front to aid initial steering. I'm more a mid rear-engined car fan myself, just to get I like the weight over the back of the car for the stability, and you can really push through the corners.
Personally, for me, as a road car, four-wheel drive would be or all-wheel drive, sorry, as I should say, would be my way forward. But definitely front-engined for me, I think.
Yeah.
Old school GT car.
And that again, I think, is where a lot of the cars are going back to now. You've also got the Mercedes, the car that's not featured in this game, but I know a very, very popular GT3 car in real life. The Bentley as well. They're all moving to that front engine format. Your mid cars are starting not as popular on the road now. I think it's less easy to convert a car to race format. So at the minute we're just
Dr. and Phil Babbage at the moment, maybe doing a bit of team orders and helping each other out with a good tow down the straight. Yeah,
Smalley's in the pits. He's maybe picked that as his lap time as his peak, and he's only 0.8 off, so it's still very, very close. Kimi's currently fastest with 54.3. We'll watch Ready Shaven through the back end of this lap. We've just missed split 4. It's just going to be a surprise as he crosses the line as to whether he's managed to close that gap a little bit on Kimi in front. So he's dragging down.
A few people, this could be their last lap, isn't it now?
Yeah, I think most people. 54.6, so he's not managed to improve on his time at the moment. He's just outside by a hundredth.
Oh, Ash on the back straight has gone 2 tenths purple through sector 2, so maybe he's on the flyer right now.
It's be a great debut for managing to put that Aston on pole. We'll see how it performs during the race. I was talking to Robot earlier about the Aston. It's a great car. It just makes you wonder why it's never been picked really before. I don't know, it might be the front engine thing that a lot of people have picked mid-rear cars. He's still held that 10th as well. So if he's clean through this last section, this double right here can be quite tricky if you're a little bit wide coming out of it. But he seems to have got a good line through there at the moment. This could be a pole lap. He's just dropped back to 4th at the minute. He's currently 0.6 off, but we'll see when he crosses the line whether this is going to be a faster lap.
Go on, Ash, let's go.
It's 53.9, the first one in the 53s. Yeah, I know we'll be very, very happy with that. I would imagine there'll be a lot of noise coming from.
There'll be a fist
there.
Pump or two for sure.
I would think so.
In that cockpit right now.
And justifiably so. I mean, that's a great lap and a great debut for not only the team shortcut but also the Aston as well.
You've got Othed just come out to the final corner now as well. I haven't seen any of his last lap at all. He's sitting in 10th at the moment, that's not too bad.
He's actually only on an out lap at the moment as well, so there won't be a time set as he crosses the line. So we'll jump back on to see who was on a lap. Harley's on a lap, just coming through the twisties at the back. Actually no, he's just coming into the final corner. So we'll see. I don't think this is going to be a pole test in that, but it could move Harley up. Could move Harley up a little bit. 55.2. It's still a great lap from Harley there. I believe that is it. Everyone is now on their slowing down lap. So, a bit of an upside, well, not an upside down grid. It's your usual protagonist at the front. Ash is normally in that mix, but a great pole there for the debut in the new car and the new team. With Kimi in second, Proctor third, Reddy Shaven fourth, Castle, Harley, Phil Babbage, Doc Coop, Smalley with a great another. For his debut driving the Group 3 category. A good start there in 9th, Othed in 10th, Hazy 11th, and Mick in 12th.
It's rounding out your grid, isn't it? So, championship standings as is currently. I'll just pull up Discord. So, top of the table we have got Iceman Kimi, I believe, from memory. It is. Yeah, I was thinking me at the top of the table with 134 points. Reddy Shaven 98 on second. Castle Racing with 86. Ash Wilson and quite a fourth 85 points. And then Harley running out your top 5 for 68.
So still, it's all to play for with this.
It's very much so, and there's only this race and 2 others for the rest of the season?
Yeah, there's 75 points left available. You have to do some quick maths to see who's got a possibility of the top few there. So we'll see how this race pans out. We're away on the start now. We'll just make sure we've got all the race info on. Ash is on the needle there. A good start by the looks of it. And it looks like everyone's away, which is good. It's a great start. Ash has held it into turn 1 and through turn 2, and he's got Kimi, Reddy Shaven and Proctor. Proctor as well has been for a good result because he's a fast driver. He's had a lot of connection issues as well. So hopefully he'll manage to stay through for the full race today and put on a good show with the front 2. A little bit of contact there. The Castle's the one that's dropped back at the moment. He's dropped right back down the field. We'll quick flick through as we go through.
Very close racing throughout the first sector, that's for sure. It's obviously a very tight one anyway.
Yeah, you've got Doc Coop. Hardy's dropped back down to 6th, and you've got Doc Coop. Othed. Castle has dropped from 4th back down to 9th. Hazy having a good run. He's made up places on the start. And you've got Hazy, Smalley and Mick on the tail end of the field.
Just starting to spread out towards the end of this first lap. It's still fairly close though, they're not. No one's really walking away with this. They're sort of just finding their nice little.
They've just got a couple of little gaps just forming at the front. You've got Ash and Kimi away with Reddy Shaven and Proctor just behind. So they're just starting to open up gaps a little bit. So it will be quite close. Reddy Shaven is just going for a move there underneath Proctor and makes it stick into the right-hander. This is a tricky double right. If you don't get a drive out of the second part of this through into the last, you do lose a lot of speed on the drag down to the start finish.
Just gone slightly wide out of mid-point of 6 to 4. We're awarding him a half-second penalty as well. He's got to scrub that off fairly soon.
So that's going to give Harley a chance to catch up a little bit.
Are we expecting a 2-stop strategy here?
Yeah, I think
7
people
and 14,
are doing
you're thinking that's going to be the
7 and 14 is what is possible. 7 and 2 was it 7 and 2 6s? Was that discussed? Yeah, so maybe 7 and 13 as well. There's a couple of strategies that will work because they're not massively hard on tyres, these cars. We'll just keep an eye on Castle. He's currently about 5 seconds back from the leaders, which is not the greatest of first laps. you've got Smalley now right up behind Othed. And going for a great move by Smalley down into that tight right under there. Will he be able to hold it as he goes round?
Oh, nearly sent you for a certain takeaway type thing.
He did. He was certainly had a bit of garlic sauce on that one. So there's a little scrap there developing between Othed and Smalley. Othed going just a little bit wide there. It's giving Smalley a chance to come through and settle down. And again, Ben having a great drive. Only to be half a second off the back of these two. They've got a lot more experience between them as well. That's a great drive from Ben so far.
Very good. Keep
and
that one going.
Back in 12th.
Castle and Doc Coop getting very tight through Mick's happy place. Anything more than that? Clean so far. Doc Coop has on to 7th.
There's Ash there with his fastest lap time at the moment, 2:2:51, but on a first lap, still fairly quick. We'll have a quick look in the stream. It's fairly quiet in the stream now. I've only got 9 watching. I don't think it's because it's slightly later in the evening and everyone will be recovering after the epic F1 race that we had earlier with unfortunate George Russell. Still having a great run through to, I believe, 8th he finished in the end, or 9th. So great result for him, even though it was a little bit unfortunate with the incidents with the car. So Kimi's probably pushing Ash along here now, down to 54.9. And they've obviously got pace in both these cars, and these two know each other quite well because they race together in the Enduro League, so it'll be interesting to see how this scrap pans out.
Smalley and Doc Coop really going at hammer and tongs together at the moment as well.
Yeah, and so Smalley has, if I look in the background, Hazy's got in front of Othed as well. So we'll keep an eye on this gap between Smalley and Doc Coop. Again, they know each other quite well. And you can see Hazy and Othed behind him. Smalley again going, he seems to be liking that move down there into that right-hander. So a good debut drive in Group 3 so far to Smalley. We'll just have a look to see whether... We've got Reddy Shavens about a second off the back of this. So not out of it yet, and you've still got Proctor sat there in 4th. So Kimi's going to go up the inside of Ash into Mick's happy corner. And really, it's a great move there from Kimi. And maybe Ash will just sit in behind him for a few laps and just use a little bit of Kimi's fuel and tyre wear. It's probably a little bit early in the race to get into a scrap. Oh, big defensive move there from Kimi. Clean, but certainly he's going to have to. Ash is going to make him drive hard for this. But a good, I wouldn't say blocking move, but a very defensive line into that right hander from Kimi there. We've got a number 583327. I think somebody's given us half of a credit card number. If you want to put the rest in this next message, we can. And we've got the usual protagonists in there with Mr. Fuller as well. I'm yet to see Team Harley in there yet, so we shall see whether they pop up. So Kimi's just starting to drag out a little bit of a gap. He's just about 3/4 of a second in front of Ash. So Kimi could have been doing something similar and just letting Ash run away with it a little bit. Tyre wear, Ash is marginally worse off than the Porsches, but not by a lot.
Strange, he actually used a bit more fuel, but then obviously Kimi was slipstreaming Ash for quite a long time.
Yeah, and maybe that
really
might be the little downside, if there is one, to the Aston, that maybe it's a little bit thirstier than the other cars. We'll keep an eye on that as we go through the rest of the race and just see if the extra fuel usage just seem to carry on. Got a good little scrap here still between Phil Babbage in 5th and Harley in 6th, and then Castle's making his way back through the field now. He's up to 7th. He's starting to pull time back. Harley's possibly going to go for a move down here on the inside into Mix. He's definitely too wide into there, so Phil's just taking advantage there. I thought he'd taken his penalty there actually. It looked to ghost him slightly. But now Harley's got to defend, which we know we can do. We've raced with Harley a lot, and he will certainly make Phil Babbage work to get this place back. But this scrap is allowing Castle just to creep up onto the back now. He's now back down to about 1.2 seconds.
behind them, Doc Cooper and Smalley, they're looking very fighty together as well.
They are. Doc Cooper as well. He's a great lad. He's one of our American friends. Spent a bit of time racing with him. He's a good giggle on Wreckfest as well. So it's nice to see him having a scrap. I think both these drivers will also admit that the race is often better than the result, and it's certainly a way I prefer to think of it as well. I'd rather have a good scrap for whatever the position
still
is.
Seventh than
a
boring racing cup and go for the win.
Yeah, definitely.
As much as I'd love to win, but
it's called racing as opposed to winning. And like I say, everyone would love one. Everyone would love one on their card. But if you get through a race and you have a good scrap, then all the better. I think Smalley's just been pushed to the outside here, so we'll see if he's got the pace to go around the outside, or if he's going to try a cutback. The thing is, he has gone slightly deeper, so he might be able to try a cutback up the hill into the fast section. And it's this section here where I think the Aston will have the legs and is maybe getting held to. And he has. He's gone inside. Great move there from Smalley, considering he's still not done one full season in OFR. He's putting some great moves on him, and certainly showing that he's got the pace and the racecraft to mix it in with these lads week in, week out.
Used for the mid-pack, Castle Racing has now got past Phil Babbage, giving Harley a big breathing opportunity.
Well, we'll just have a look. Ben's still here in 10th in front of Oved, so he's still in the points, which would be a great Group 3 debut for Ben as well. Kimmy now, there has been an incident somewhere, there must have. Kimmy's now got a gap of 3.6 seconds over Ash, who's in a proper scrap with Ready Shaven. So normal service resumed with these, just in different cars and in a slightly different order to normal. So Ash is jumping the pits early, so Ash is going to go 5.77, I would think. So maybe he's just trying to get out on cleaner tyres. He's not fueled, so that's put him out behind Harley. And this is the scrap that we had last week. So I'm sure this will continue, and I don't think Harley's going to make it particularly easy for Ash to pass.
I think actually, out of all the grid of OFR people I've raced with, Ashley's one of the worst ones to try and get past.
He is.
He always parks the car exactly where you want to put yours.
Yeah, we've all had them frustrating moments driving behind him. It's just gone a little bit deep there. I think he was going to try and move up the inside, but Harley covered it well. Now Harley is on worn tyres, so it's going to... Oh, I'm trying to move around the outside there, Ash. And there's contact. This is back to what it was at Catalunya last week, with these two scrapping it out. Oh, and there is contact there. That we will look back at that later. We'll jump back off that. I don't want to... luckily we can't pull replays up, so we can't analyse that in the stream, but there was definitely contact there between the two of them. So Kimmy now...
seems to be moving, so is Harley having steering wheel issues possibly? No, he's just waiting for the rest of the field to pass before he moves off. Unfortunately, you've got engine damage, front and rear damage as well. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, luckily with the damage on light, it will clear. So we've now got Kimmy in the pits. Ready Shaven and Proctor have stayed out, so they're going to pit at the end of lap 7. Kimmy's come out, even after a pit stop, he's come out right behind Ready Shaven and on the faster tyre. So I would think he'll probably, if they'll be talking in the team chat, I would think they'll know where the driver's going to pit, and maybe Kimmy will just sit behind him on this lap, let Ready Shaven come in for the pits, and then he's got Proctor in third, who's having a good showing. He has been really unfortunate with his connection issues over the past few weeks, and I think it's been a shame for him, because he has got the pace to mix it with these guys on regular basis. He is definitely. So you've now got Ash is about 4.5, nearly 5 seconds back from that, and this has given Castle an opportunity just to dive up into 5th now, and he's on fresh tyres as well. So we've got a good scrap looking between Ash and Castle.
Hazy and Doc Coop going to battle as well towards Mick's happy place, just down the back straight.
Yes, Ben's having a really, really good drive. I'm really pleased with Ben. He's a great,
really well
he's a great lad, and mixing it with people with a lot more experience on a car that he's only dived in this afternoon. He's a fantastic job. I'm made up for him.
Looking back at social media call, we've got hashtag justice for Astro from Ivor Sawhead.
Is that still going on? Let's. I'm not going to comment on any of that, Mr. Fuller. I'm not going to get drawn into it. That episode is well and truly behind. So you got Ben just about to dive in the pits here for his first stop.
Some fantastic racing, still only halfway through the race at the moment as well. A lot of drivers very close together, a lot of like pairs of drivers together.
And then you get up to the front where Kimmy's away with it. So we're now, excuse me, now the pit stop strategies have settled down a little bit. You've got Ash in second place, Castle up into a great third considering the first lap that he had. I'm not sure what happened. I know he got caught up with couple of incidents which dropped him right back to I think 8th at one point. So a damn good drive from Castle to pull himself back up into the podium positions, and on strategy as well. He's on tyres, he's pitted, and he should be able to start making move. And I think the scrap between him and Ash is going to be good. There's about 1.2 between them, so I don't know what the gap is between. About 5.5 from Kimmy back to Ash at the moment. So we'll just have a quick flick back through the field and see if there's any more little dices going on. Phil Babbage seems to be in a slightly lonely 4th at the minute, Reddy Shaven behind him in 5th. Proctor after his pit stops dropped back down to 6th.
I think Smalley has got past Doc Coop for 8th at the moment, but I believe that might be in the pits though, possibly.
I think Overhead's going to be in this lap as well. Yeah, you've got Doc Coop and Smalley are both on the same strategy. They're both on the same sort of tyres, so I think Overhead's probably going to dive in the pits this race, which will give these two 7th and 8th on the road. But even 7th for Smalley in his true Group 3 debut will be a great result, because it is a different league. There's some really, really fast lads coming through the Beginners' Cup. You've got Smalley, you've got Hader, Weird TV. They're probably the three. They've Nils as well.
Proctor was originally a Beginner Cup driver, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I think Proctor was obviously, his pace was far beyond that, so he moved up straight away. But there's some fast lads going to come through into the Group 3. If it does go Group 3 next season, I know we're in discussions at the moment about what the next season is going to be, but there is some fast lads in there, and Small is obviously one of them. So a great debut for him, mixing it with the next tier of his racing. Hazy now in a fairly safe 9th. He's got about 7.5 to Doc Coop in front and 12 back to Mick Howe now behind him in 10th. So it would be a point there for Mick. I think it's his Group 3 debut. He may have done one in the previous season in the Lexus, and I think maybe one in the previous season in the Porsche as well. But I know he's not a regular driver due to the team changes this year and that settling down. Mick stepped up from a team management role into team driver. But a good drive so far from Ben. He should be pleased with himself. And now here we go. We've got Mick and Othed, we've actually got the Ron Pollock's cars in 10th, 11th and 12th. So Harley's really dropped back. Obviously after that incident with Ash, remember the damage has just took its toll on the car a little bit more. I'm sure there'll be conversations over that move come the end of the race and into the week.
So there's probably a few conversations within team chats on either side of that.
I would think so. Yeah, I think they were both pushing hard for the position in a difficult place to make the pass. It'd be interesting to watch that back afterwards to see just what happened. I think it was a coming together. It'd be obviously deemed by the stewards as to whether either driver was at fault, but Harley did certainly come off a little bit worse off that. And all says I think there was a lot of curb being taken during that move. So Kimi's now got 7 seconds in front. Ash though holds the fastest lap of the race by a 10th from Kimi.
Wow. Ash looks like he might have to be in this lap as well. He's just running very, very low on fuel. He's got the red blinky light of doom.
Yeah, so I don't know whether Ash is going to try for if he's in on lap 10, that's going to put him onto a 3-stop. Because I don't know if he'll be able to go 9 laps
and possibly go long on the next one, possibly.
Maybe it'll be an un-Ash-like strategy, but it could be possible. It could be possible.
Ash doesn't do anything different, does he?
He doesn't. He does. But you know what? Sometimes he pulls something out, something that does work. But we could maybe looking as you said earlier, found the Aston's slight Achilles heel in. It doesn't look to be. I know he didn't fuel first pit. But it doesn't look to be as good on fuel as the cars that's in around. So we'll watch him through to see what he does in the pits here. The race has settled down fairly well, so we've got time just to see. He's definitely put another set of softs on. We'll see as he comes out whether... I would think he probably need close to 3/4 of a tank if he's going to go to the end. No, I don't think he can make to the end on here. I think he's got another stop in him yet. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out.
He might be right there. He might be back in 15 then, possibly.
I think a 3-stop's a strategy that won't work. I mean, I know a couple of the Group 2 lads tried a 1-stop. I think it was on. Tyre was a little bit too much for me. I think with it being a relatively short pit here, the extra stop didn't penalise, but I certainly don't think anyone would have considered a 3-stop in that 22-lap race. But Kimi's doing what Kimi does. He's great to watch. I love watching Kimi drive. He's just so... if anyone follows motorcycle sport, Jorge Lorenzo hits his mark lap after lap after lap after lap after lap. If you look at deviations in his lap times, like laps 3 to 5, 54.9, 54.9, 54.9, effectively an 8.96. And the same now, you're 54.3, 54.2. His consistency lap after lap is, I think, Kimi's biggest strength. Very dependable, and he hits his markers, and it's quite often you see him at the front. He's definitely the cream of the crop in this league, in my opinion.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, that's for sure. He's one of the guys that's certainly up there. Well, I would say Leekler as well was very good in season 2.
Leaker's a great guy. What I like about the pair of them as well is drivers who are just coming into... and I've got to mention Castle in this as well. I know we're seeing the discussions in Discord at the moment about the next season, which we're involved in. Castle's got some great ideas on how to help drivers with not as much knowledge on how to develop. Kimi's the same, Leaker's the same. Leaker's been a fantastic help with a lot of the incoming F1 drivers. He's very, very quick on that game and an all-round decent guy. As the whole team OFR are, if anyone's watching this that doesn't currently race in a league, then we've raced, yourself and I have raced across probably 2 or 3 different leagues organised nationally at the moment. By far, I think OFR's the pick of them leagues. Everyone's dead helpful. They really want to get you involved. They'll listen to ideas, and if you're stuck, you can message people out of the blue, and they'll give you some great assistance. Whether it's
very encouraging as well, even for like the likes of myself. When I joined halfway through season 1, everyone was sort of very friendly and encouraging, and just made me want to stay on it. Yeah,
and that's where really it's certainly I'd advise anybody, if you've got a PlayStation and you fancy having a go at racing, there's obviously beginners leagues or lower tier leagues that you can have a crack at, and it's showing that within a season you've got Smalley up to 6th now. Hayes is having a great result, just back down to Ben still in 7th, and he's pulling away from this is a fantastic driver, man. I've just looked. He's now about a second closer to Phil Babbage, who's an experienced driver, and pulling time back, and he's pulling away from Kyle in 10th as well. So you can prove that within a season, the help that people get and the camaraderie that people offer within OFR, that it's definitely a great league to be in if you want to develop and pick your driving up. So we've got a little bit of
the stream. Get yourself a Discord account and just join OFR on the Discord.
Yep.
All the information to be found on there.
There's OFR YouTube, there's OFR Online Formula Racing Media, YouTube as well, on the Facebook page. Message anyone on there, and any one of us will give you some details and get you involved. And there's plenty of leagues. It's not just GTS. There's F1, there's F2, and they do some special events in the past. There's been Rocket League events. I'm sure at some point
there's been a Call of Duty Warzone thing
there has,
as well, I believe.
And I think there's going to be at some point maybe Jan's in the stream as well. It'll be I don't know why I'm waving at my Mac because you can't see me, but I've just waved at you anyway. Good to see you, and hopefully maybe see you back with us. But I think there's maybe a Wreckfest idea should happen as well. It's a great game, and it would be the things you can play the games with the lot in this as well. And they're a good bunch. They're a great bunch just to sit and have a laugh with as well. So Harley's in the pits. Harley, I think, really struggling a bit. His tyre wear's been great. I think he's going to now feel to go to the end.
I would have thought so at lap 12.
So now you've got Ready Shaven has got past Kimi.
Ooh, he's teamed up between Potter and Doc Coop currently for 6th as well.
So I don't know whether Kimi's let Ready Shaven through or he's had an off, but he's lost that 9-second lead. And no, I'll tell you why I'm being a bit of a wally. Kimi has pitted. He's on fresh tyres and Ready Shaven hasn't. So we're back to normal service. And now you've got Ash in 3rd. Drops his lap time even more, 54.1, which is a great lap. But I think he's clearly he's going to have to pit again for at least fuel. So I'm not quite sure strategy is the one that's going to pick him up there today, and it could be yet another, depending on how this strategy plays out, could be yet another 1, 2, 3 for the Porsche team. And you'll see Ash goes in for his final stop. So that was a real short stint there, a really short stint of 3 or 4 laps.
He's also followed by Ready Shaven, so maybe this is where it's a turning point, possibly.
Maybe, because you've now got Proctor up into 3rd, who's on fresh tyres, Castle in 2nd, who's on very, very good tyres, and Kimi away. So we'll watch the gap between Ash and Ready Shaven. It's currently about 1.4, but Ash has got Proctor right up behind him and he's carrying a 0.9 penalty as well. So this is going to be the scrap for the lower positions. I think Kimi is away with it. He's got a 12-second lead now over Castle. But certainly if you look between 2nd and 5th, there is 11, about 3 seconds between 2nd and 5th. So the podium fight is on.
Also in social media comment, I've got Ivor Sword here. Can't wait to jump into the chat after this race. I've missed safety car gate.
Oh dear. I would suggest that Ivor Sawheed is a good friend of ours, Mr. Fuller, and I would think, knowing Si as we do, he's probably polishing his wooden spoon as we speak.
Very much so, definitely. I think we might need to download WrestleMania to fight this one out, possibly, between the two.
Do you know what? I think we should have a Wreckfest off. I think that's the way that any contentious decisions should be given. Not that there's been any recently, but I think if there's a contest between 2 drivers, stick them on Wreckfest and last man standing.
That sounds like a very good idea. Robot, make that happen.
Well, I'm actually just having a chat with Mr. Robot now about a Wreckfest league, and I think there may be a few of us by the end of the week have it.
Oh, I might have to partake at some point then.
it's a good giggle. So you've got the two Porsches, Castle and Ready Shaven, just started to hold each other up as well, which is giving Kimi a little bit more of a chance to get away. So they're 12. So we're now down to about 2.5 seconds covering second to fifth. So these last 4.5 laps are going to be very, very tight. And I think we're just starting to splinter a little bit. In fact, you've got Castle and Ready Shaven just starting to drag away from Ash a little bit. It's down to about 1.4. And Ash is going to have Proctor all over him soon. But we're coming to an area of the track that the Aston is going to be quick through this real fast left right flick, and then down into mix. So Ash is just starting to pull back a little bit. With time, a little bit slow into there. It just pulled back about 1.2. It has to drag back out to about 1.5, but it's fluctuating. This is where I think Group 3 is a great character. It's showing the strengths of the different cars in different areas of the track. But Ash really has got Proctor. He's going to jump back and watch this battle now. Ash has got Proctor all over him. A little bit of a glitch there from Proctor. But Ash has got this 0.8 second penalty as well, so at the moment, if Ash doesn't shed this penalty and Proctor finishes where he does, he will take that position from Ash on the line.
Oh no, Iceman Kimi's off.
I think he can afford a little off. He's come back on the track and still in excess of 7 seconds.
Still be in the championship lead at the really.
But that just shows maybe sometimes, like we were talking earlier about having a lonely race out front, sometimes it just allows your concentration to drop a little bit, and that might have been what happened down there into that first corner. He's got away with it. So you've now got Castle and Ready Shaven really close with each other, and Ash goes wide there coming out of turn 5, I believe it is, which is going to give Proctor a run down. Not quite. I thought he might just be able to make a dive down into this corner. Oh, I've lost Grim for a second. I'm sure he'll be back. We had this issue last week, so it's just me at the moment. But this is a great little scrap here between Ash and Proctor. And it just showed the versatility of both of these cars. The Assie's is a very, very manoeuvrable little thing. Not necessarily the quickest thing in a straight line, but its manoeuvrability and its flexibility through the corners is its strong point. So we could see him move with only 0.2. We could see him move from Proctor down here into mix, which would be great if he can make it stick. But the Aston has just got the legs, and he has his dive up the inside of Ash there down into mix. Ash is going to try for a cutback as we climb back up the hill. This is where the Aston will have a slight edge, with it being the faster car probably in the straight line. But Proctor is a good driver, he's a good defensive driver, and just getting squeezed over a little bit, but clean two side at the moment. We're down to right, and Ash is taking him back down into the first of the two right-handers approaching the end of the lap. So again, Proctor just sat behind him now, about 4 tenths, but Ash is still carrying that 0.6 per second penalty as they start lap 17. So 3 laps to go. A good little scrap here for 4th place, and I think it's just given Castle and Ready Shaven a chance just to break away and probably seal the podium places, barring any mistakes from them. Castle's got a half-second penalty, so these two are swapping places lap after that. Kimi's just started to drag this time out again to about just under 9.5 seconds now. So we've drive back a little bit further down the field. We've got Phil Babbage in 6th. Who's having a good drive, and again there's another one that's had some connection issues in the past. Doc Cooper in 7th. There's been a race-long battle with Smalley. These two know each other quite well, and I'm sure they'll be loving the closeness and the cleanness of this battle from what we've seen so far today. Ben again having a fantastic debut in 9th, and Harley and O, they're both in the pits again. So they've come out. So we've got the 3 modern Pollux cars here in 10th, 11th and 12th, which is not normal where we'd see. We'd normally expect to see them a little bit further up than this. The gap between Ready Shaven and Castle's just starting to stretch a little bit now. Ready Shaver just starting to pull away, so it's about 1.5 seconds. We've still got a 3-second gap over Ash, now in 4th, who's just eked out just under a second from Proctor. So maybe tyre wear is just starting to show a little bit. There's not a massive amount of choose between them, so maybe just a little error from Proctor somewhere on this lap that's caused him to just drop back a little bit. Phil Babbage still in 6th, Doc Cooper in 7th. I think this and the battle between Ash and Proctor are probably 2 closest scraps on the track at the moment. So Doc Cooper's carrying 0.9 of a second penalty, which is pretty much nullifies the gap back to Smalley. So Smalley narrows his gap a little bit more. Again, this is going to be a position change on the finishing scene if they stay in the positions they are on the track. Good little battle here, and a great debut drive, let's say, from Smalley in a car that you only found out he was driving earlier on today as well. So a last minute replacement, so great standing, and the car has not done really a great deal of laps in. We shall see how that one pans out towards the end of the race. So we've got Kimi on the drop down into mix, back up to over 10 seconds lead. Dominant drive from Kimi here. I don't think anyone has got any chance of touching him today. His ability is just shone through, and also the versatility of the Porsche as well. Ready Shaven's just gapped Castle now. It's just about 2.5 seconds, and Castle's got about 2.5 back to Ash, so he can't really let off here. He's going to be approaching the last lap. I think it's a little bit too much to ask from Ash to make up 2.5 seconds in one lap, but it's all dependent on whether Castle makes a slight error, and then Proctor's just dropped back to about 1.3 behind Ash now. So I think your top 5 positions are fairly well covered as they are, as we catch Kimi just about to go across the line on what will be his last and 19th lap. And he sets the fastest lap of the race as well with a 53.9, so bang on quali pace, which, considering he's on towards the end of a stint as well, is a fantastic time. So we've got Ready Shaven, Castle and Ash all crossing the line now. Castle's just dropping a little bit off his penalty as well. Ash has took a 10th off his. But I still think it's going to be a big ask for any of these drivers to make up another position, barring any error. Phil Babbage in a solid 6th place. Smalley's got Doc Coop now. Showing into where that happened, but Doc Coop's still carrying that 0.7 of a second penalty. So Smalley's just going to be able to drive away from him a little bit, and he's got the security to know that even if he finishes nose to tail or in a line on the grid with that penalty still standing there, as Doc Coop goes a little bit wide coming out turn 5, Smalley will still take a position, and a fantastic drive to 7th. You've got Doc Coop in 8th, Ben in 9th, Harley now up to 10th in a battle with his teammate Oved. So we'll see how this one pans out. Down into turn 1, Harley just takes the line. Carl's going to try and cut back coming out of turn 2. Harley's right where he needs to be. Great defensive line there from Harley. So the next move they could possibly got down here is down into turn 5 at the bottom of the hill. We'll just stick with this as we watch Kimi come round into the first of the right-handers, sorry, the second of the right-handers, and now into the big long left before the final corner to take one of the most dominant wins we've seen in OFR this season, certainly in GTS. I wonder if he's slowing here just to maybe get a 1-2-3 across the line, or if he's just pouring himself a drink from his flask as he finishes. Great to see all 3 cars, look at that in the line. Fantastic shot. Oh, and he's left to let Ready Shaven take the win. That looked like a pullover move there from Kimi. It's great to see. So you got Ready Shaven takes a win from Kimi, Castle and Ash in 4th. Ash getting back to 1.9. Proctor and Phil Babbage, so 2 teammates again across the line there. And Smalley takes a fantastic Group 3 debut in 7th there from Doc Coop in 8th. and we're going to have to watch Ben come across the line. I think this is Ben's drive of the season. He's had some good drives in it always seems to be a Aston thing across the line. Some good drives in the Beginners' Cup. He's been a little bit unfortunate. So, and here we go. We've got a Rod and Pollock's 1, 2, 3 coming across the line in sequence. A little bit of team solidarity here, I think. I don't know whether there's a statement, but great to see. Not had the best of races today. Some good drives, some good individual drives from the three of them, but I've been a little bit unfortunate with incidents. So we'll see how this pans out and who's going to cross the line for the final point. So at the minute, Team Boss has been allowed to take the point. A great move there from the other two drivers. Mick's been allowed to take his Group 3 debut point in OFR, with O then in second, Harley in third. So fantastic to see at the end there from them three. Great race between the top lads, and I think obviously Kimmy just pulling over to one side. A bit of team orders move there for Ready Shaven to take the win, and we'll just have a quick look where that's going to leave Ready Shaven in the championship as well. I think that's maybe going to move him up a position and solidify them at the top of the table. That's going to put them very, very close there. Kimmy's obviously away with it on 134 currently. Ready Shaven 98, Castle at 86, Ash on 85, and Harley on 68. So the top three places are going to stay as they are, but the gaps are starting to open up again. So a great race there. There were some great battles. Great to watch. Good debuts there from all the new drivers in their respective teams and cars, and great to watch. And thank you for joining us. It's been a little bit quieter in the stream today with 6 watch. I think it's maybe down to the people still taking a breath and some oxygen after the F1 race. Love you too, Smalley. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us, and we shall be back next week to watch some more GT3 racing.